Hello and welcome back. As we promised in the past, here's the second part of the two-part series on the aspect of parent and teen conversation. Now, if you're staring at the screen and noticing something different, well, I've come with a new user interface in preparation for the new year. So, it's the same old guy, just looking different, right? So, we explored 3 tips in the prior video, which were my parents don't get it syndrome, avoidance of conversation, and finally, the fact that engagement and building of trust is a two-way street and you have a part to play in it. Now, building on this, we will cover 3 more tips in this video that should hopefully lend some additional perspective on things to consider. Now, here we go. The first of this part, anxiety. Your teenage years can be some of the most physically and emotionally stressful periods of your life. And you will probably have a multitude of worries floating around in your head at any given point in time. Now, learning to manage anxieties is something all of us have to work towards. And guess what? There are anxieties at all stages of life. And your parents have their set of anxieties too. Anxiety management is something we learn throughout our lives. I'm sure there are a number of topics that cause anxiety for both yourself and your parents. Now, based on the nature of the topic, I'm sure tempers rise, leading to bouts of anger, etc. A lot of the times, anger is the result of helplessness. Helplessness on account of your parents either not being able to understand the point you're making or are unable to comprehend the situation and what actions to take based on the amount of information that you're giving them. Now, it may be beneficial for you to think about putting across the complete picture of what troubles you, what makes you anxious, as opposed to bits and pieces of information. Look, parents are no symbol of perfection, and in today's scenario, they are equally stressed, if not more. Anything you can do to alleviate the stress and lessen the anxiety to address the cause of what action needs to be taken, I think will be beneficial on both sides. Number 2, seek help. While a lot has changed over the course of time, one thing still is a problem: the ability to ask for help from the right people at the right time. When it comes to asking for help, there is a tendency for teens to shy away from their parents, and they tend to lean more on friends, and these days on online anonymous friends, acquaintances, self-appointed gurus, or the all-knowing Google. Now, it is certainly not a crime to do any of the above. A point worth considering is when to include your parents in this process. Now, as stated in the prior part of this video, your parents may not get it in the first go. Take the time to explain the help you're seeking, and they will be willing to work with you in most cases, right? Now, a point to consider is not to leave your parents out until the last minute or when the water is over the bridge, as they say. Now, finally, staying open-minded is a must. Before we dive in, what does being open-minded mean? It is the willingness to consider alternate points of view that challenge your favored beliefs, plans, or goals, and include those varied perspectives to weigh in your final decision on any matter. This is not about going around and asking a whole bunch of people what they think. Rather, listening to alternate points of view as pointed out from the right individuals. Now, 2 tips to stay open-minded. First thing, fight the urge to react in anger when you hear something that's different from your own opinion. And secondly, avoid speculation. Easier said than done. The key here is to keep tempers in check and ask clarifying questions instead. All right. With that, I'm sure you have enough to consider between these 2 parts of the videos. As you get ready to tune into the new year, take the time to pause, reflect, and make small changes towards building a healthy, trustworthy, and open conversational relationship with your parents and people in general. It's a valuable life skill, and there is no better place to practice it than at home. Wishing you all a very fabulous new year from the Art of Conversations team in advance. And until next time, let us know if you have any questions, comments, and we would always love to know what you think. Until then, bye for now.